The most unbelievable TV show starts right now. It's Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Tonight on Ripley's, Kelly Packard joins TV's sexiest twins up on the Ripley's live billboard for a bone-breaking challenge on Sunset Boulevard. See which of these tough guys cracks first while trying to crack apart the most baseball bats in the world. It's the story that made headlines around the world. Flies emerging from a 13-year-old boy's body. Ripley's travels to the other end of the earth to uncover this startling truth about this baffling medical mystery. Only on Ripley's did you see the world's biggest rubber band ball. But wait till you see how two brothers are secretly building a bigger ball, and they insist it's about to bounce them into the record books.
If Ripley's wants to drop this, I think my balls will bounce.
Plus, we hang with the lightning-quick rock climber they call Spider-Woman in tonight's Ripley's Kid. She went in to have a baby, but came out with rusty scissors in her stomach. And our pet search turns up the smallest stallion in the world. Only on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Hello and welcome to Ripley's. Let's get things started with our very own Kelly Packard. Now, she's been put in some precarious situations to meet unbelievable people. A rodeo ring, the basket of a hot air balloon. She's even reported from the middle of the world's largest tomato fight. But tonight's location outdoes them all. Kelly is looking down on Hollywood's famous Sunset Strip because she is on a billboard. And I mean, she's literally standing on a billboard.
Packard, and we're up here on the Ripley's live billboard in the middle of the world-famous Sunset Strip in the heart of Hollywood. I have a gorgeous view you can see forever of my hometown. It's a wonderful night. The crowd is starting to form way down there, and the energy is great. Now, our crew got here early this morning to set up the cameras and lights to bring you tonight's event. For tonight's Ripley's Challenge, we've brought two top-notch fitness trainers together. Now, both say that they can break more bats over their thighs than the other. And assisting them tonight are famous TV twins Elaine and Diane Klimaszewski. Now this is a regulation Louisville Slugger, just like the bats the pros use in Major League Baseball. And these are without a doubt the toughest men I've ever met. Steve Carrier, a personal trainer and motivational speaker, is from Orange County, California. He is 36 years old and weighs in at 290 pounds. His competitor, Herman King, is from Dallas, Texas. Weighing in at 260 pounds, he is 34 years old. He makes his living as a celebrity bodyguard, protecting everybody from NFL players to famous musicians. Now, I see all these bats up here, and don't get me wrong, but how do I know that these are real, real wood?
Well, Kelly, tonight we're going to demonstrate for you and prove this is a real pro baseball bat. It takes over 500 pounds of pressure to snap one of these, and we want you to listen to the sound of this being demolished. Would you please step aside?
Absolutely. Right, I heard that. It was definitely loud. Let me see this. Okay, gentlemen, this is real wood. All right, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to prepare. Okay, so good luck. Thank you. Meanwhile, this billboard is going to get a change of face very soon. Since early this morning, Eric Harshbarger has been hard at work creating a one-of-a-kind piece of art, and you won't believe what he's using to do it. Eric,
hi, Kelly.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Now, you are an artist known for creating very unique sculptures, right?
Yes, sculptures and mosaics created completely out of Lego bricks.
That is incredible. Now, this is the first portrait you've done on a billboard, right?
Absolutely. This is quite an undertaking and very public and very big.
How many pieces have you got here?
This is almost 40,000 pieces just to make this one mosaic.
You just said 40,000 pieces?
40,000.
40,000 of these little things?
Yes.
Now, how large is the portrait going to be when you're done?
This will be 10 feet square and take up about 1/4 of the area of this billboard on Sunset.
All right, Eric, you get back to work and finish that portrait, all right?
Thank you.
How you guys doing over there? You ready to go?
Let's get this party started.
All right, it's the world's first ever bat brawl on the billboard a little later in the hour.
We'll go back out to Kelly for the Ripley's Challenge later in the show. Now, you may never think of rock climbing the same way again after you see a 14-year-old girl named Tori Allen compete in a sport that is called speed climbing. Spider-Man meets Spider-Woman.
Here's tonight's Ripley's Kid.
There's nothing more Tori Allen loves than spending time with her friends and training for track meets. But unlike other kids her age, this 14-year-old is rapidly clambering up the ladder of success. Because, believe it or not, this spider-like athlete can climb up a rock wall faster than any woman in the world.
I just kind of go by natural instinct. I don't really like to think when I'm climbing. I just go with whatever my body tells me.
When she was 4 years old, Tori moved with her family to Africa and quickly adjusted to her new surroundings. She even found a playmate in her pet monkey, George. Soon, Tori began following her furry friend everywhere, even up trees.
Georgie probably helped inspire me, like when I first saw the sport, like wow, that was some of the greatest years of my life.
When her family returned to the States a few years later, Tori took up ice skating and track and field, quickly climbing up the ranks in the male-dominated sport of pole vaulting. Like at this competition at the IU's Michael A. Carroll Track and Soccer Stadium.
She's, for her age, among the best in the nation.
Tori even hopes to earn Olympic gold at the 2008 Games.
Sometime I'd like to set the world record, and I want to vault 17 feet, which sounds ridiculous, but I think it's possible.
And while being a track and field superstar is enough for most teens, when Tori stumbled across an indoor rock climbing wall at a local sporting goods store, her life changed forever, even giving up figure skating to pursue the new sport.
I begged and begged my dad to climb the wall, and I went up and climbed, and I climbed the first one very easily. The people who worked at the wall were like, wow.
Then when Tori tried climbing, she quit skating cold turkey. She said, I love to climb.
And I had to decide, and I chose climbing, and ever since then, I've never turned back.
And although Tori makes speeding to the top of a climbing wall look easy, she actually has an intense training regimen. This young climber needs to develop not only her strength, but agility, speed, and balance. After stretching out her back, Tori works her way up the wall using only her arms. Then she does a round of nearly impossible two-finger pull-ups. That's only her warm-up. Tori's now ready to put her climbing to the test on a 43-foot wall at Galen's Sports and Outdoor Adventure Store. And she's taking on these skilled climbers who are nearly twice her size.
I'm pretty good. I haven't raced her before, but I don't know, I'm just gonna do my best.
I don't think I'm intimidated. There's a bunch of big guys, but I think they're just posers.
Tori takes on her first guy, Mike, a climbing instructor. And incredibly, she beats him by 10 seconds.
She blew me away. It's insane.
The next man up is even less of a challenge. Looks like he needs to get a grip. Tori gives him another chance. It's close, but he loses.
I got beat. She's tough.
Competitor number 3 gets set to take a shot. But Tori takes him down too.
I can't beat her, probably.
Tori has just defeated 3 guys, and she gets set to take on the area's toughest rock climber around. There they go. Tori takes a big lead right off the bat. A small slip, but Tori's speed is unstoppable. Unbelievably, 14-year-old Tori Allen beats all 4 adult men to the top of a 43-foot climbing wall, leaving her rivals eating her chalk dust.
Oh, she's awesome. She's like super fast.
And Tori has even taken on the pros with climbing achievements that would put Spider-Man to shame. Among her greatest accomplishments, she won the women's competition at the prestigious Gorge Games.
The reaction of the older competitors initially was they couldn't understand this kid beating them, but then they began to respect her because she did win.
And just recently, Tori decided to put her skills to the ultimate test, attempting to become the youngest woman in the world to summit the nose on El Capitan in Yosemite. All 3,569 feet of it.
It was a very, very scary feeling because at any point, anything could go wrong.
That was probably one of the most just awesome experiences I've ever had. It was scary and it was fun and it was more than just the climbing.
I just thought, I am so glad I'm not there. I'd be going up to get her.
Incredibly, Tori easily scales the gigantic rock face. But the ultimate test for any extreme athlete is the X Games. Would a 14-year-old girl be able to hold her own in a field of adult competitors? With her dad's video camera rolling, Tori flies up the 65-foot wall in less than 14 seconds. 4 seconds faster than any other athlete at the games.
That was always my dream, to be in the X Games. And so when I finally made it there, it was awesome. I pretty much shattered the record.
It was just an incredible sense of pride and, it was her goal.
Believe it.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Next, when this boy complained of pain in his lower abdomen, doctors were shocked to discover live flies emerging from his groin. Only Ripley's has the buzz behind the case that baffled the medical world. Plus, our pet search makes a pit stop north of the border and discovers a talented poodle that can perform over 1,000 tricks. And this woman captures the beauty beneath the ocean by actually painting underwater. And she's so passionate about her art, she'll risk getting bit trying to sketch these sharks face to face. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It's time to go out and check on the billboard and see how things are progressing.
Welcome back to the Ripley's billboard on the Sunset Strip. We're hanging out here with one of the most unique artists I've ever met, and he's creating a huge portrait of whom we don't know yet, using some 40,000 of these tiny colored pieces. The same Legos you can buy at the store, Eric Karshbarger has used to construct a 6-foot replica of the Eiffel Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, and even a 7-foot tall grandfather clock. Is that right, Eric?
Actually, it was a 12-foot tall Eiffel Tower, but I'll let it slide.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see this. I'll let you get back to work, okay?
Yes.
But right now, let's find out how Eric became a Lego lover. Eric has been making a living as a professional Lego sculptor for the past 4 years.
I love my job. It's, I have so many people tell me it's probably the best job in the world and they wish they had my job, so I don't take it for granted. I love doing it.
Eric initially started creating smaller sculptures like this almost 2-foot tall Lego Knight and this 19-inch Santa Claus. But he wasn't stopping there. Soon, he was making huge works of Lego art, like these skyscrapers consisting of 100,000 Lego pieces and reaching 7 feet into the air. And this 30,000-piece famous face.
The Mona Lisa I have done using those 6 basic colors of Lego, but when you stand back, they all blend together and give you the rich browns and earth tones that are famous in the Mona Lisa.
And Eric has received some pretty unusual requests, making this fully functional 35,000-piece office desk and even a one-of-a-kind wedding cake. But for Ripley's, Eric is creating a first-ever portrait on the Billboard Live. When complete, this Ripley's creation will be 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. The only question that remains, Who will the portrait reveal? This is unbelievable. Now, it's kind of hard to tell who this is yet.
Yes.
And I know you're getting close to being done. And in the meantime, our bat-breaking duo looks like they're ready to face off in the ultimate challenge. These top-notch tough men are going to see how many Louisville Slugger baseball bats they can break over their thighs in 1 minute. Keep in mind, these are the toughest bats ever made. We're back on the Ripley's billboard a little later.
Now, this next story is so shocking that even the Ripley's producers were skeptical. So we sent the camera crew halfway around the world to meet the boy who reportedly excretes live winged beetles from his body. See for yourself.
When this 13-year-old was sent to the hospital complaining of pains in his lower stomach, doctors discovered something so unbelievable, even they were shocked. Believe it or not, crawling inside this young boy's body were flying insects. Shandan Goswami loves the outdoors and especially likes to fish. But Shandan's life took a dramatic turn 4 months ago at school when he discovered what he thought were flying beetles crawling out of an abscess near his groin. What he didn't know is that they were really flies. Shandan told his mother that afternoon. In shock, she rushed him to the nearest hospital. Doctors immediately began running tests, x-rays, blood work, even an ultrasound. And it was the ultrasound that revealed something so unbelievable. The doctors couldn't believe their eyes. Flies. Shandan's mother is devastated. How did her son become infested with flies? And how are they leaving his body?
যখন পোকা দেখলাম তখন আমার মনে হলো যে এই পোকাগুলো কিভাবে হলো।
The doctors conclude that Shandan has a very rare case of myiasis, a condition, unfortunately, that is all too common in Central and South America.
Myiasis is invasion of human body with adult or larval insects. What happened? One adult female fly laid her egg inside the tissue of the penis, and these eggs started its life cycle.
A single fly can lay between 40 and 50 eggs, and once these eggs hatched, the flies were coming out of Shandan's body, 2, even 3 at a time. So rather than attempt to surgically remove them, doctors decide to let nature take its course and allow the eggs to hatch on their own. After a month in the hospital, a total of 42 flies have come out of Shandan's body, and the pain finally subsides. Doctors believe the teenager is now rid of all the eggs and is given a clean bill of health. And now that he is back home, Shandan hopes his insect infestation is gone forever. Believe it. Next, Ripley's Pet Search turns up the world's smallest stallion. It even thinks it's a dog.
I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. He follows me everywhere I go.
That's next.
The majestic Niagara Falls is the backdrop for this week's pet auditions. So far, our judges have sat through hundreds of acts, but no matter how many animals we've seen, we never fail to be surprised. Check this out.
The strangest pets in the nation turn out as Ripley searches coast to coast for America's most unbelievable animal.
This week's animal auditions took place at one of the greatest wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. And the famous vacation destination was literally overflowing with its share of interesting animals, trying their best to impress our judges. There was a dog who could actually do 1,000 tricks.
Believe it or not, Shanda is responding to over 1,000 hand and verbal commands. Hold the bird on the end of your nose. Good, Shanda. Bring it here. Bring it here. That's a girl. Good. Pick up the garbage. Good girl. Okay, Shanda, bowling. Good girl. Limbo. Jump. Jump.
There was one contestant who actually believed his pet cat was half rabbit.
Believe it or not, my pet is a half cat, half rabbit. It's got rabbit feet. It's got a smaller tail.
But it was Julia Smiley and her miniature horse, Peanut, that rode away with the top prize.
He's still a baby, but he's learned to shake his hand, and he's learned how to bow. He's 19 and 1/4 inches exactly.
And this is Peanut's story. When Julia Smiley set out to buy a new horse, she wasn't prepared for what she was about to find at a local breeder.
I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it.
Because, believe it or not, Julia found herself face to face with the world's smallest stallion. Julia always wanted to have a miniature horse, so she happily traded one of her saddle horses for the pocket-sized pony that she named Peanut.
And I always dreamed of having a little tiny horse that would be the size of a dog in my house.
Peanut is so tiny that Julia lets him live in the house just like a pet dog.
Now, certainly because he was so small, we couldn't put him out with the other horses because they would hurt him. He's just too little to go out with them.
Peanut is even potty trained and has his own litter box. But he does sometimes get caught drinking from the toilet, which usually lands him in the doghouse. And like his canine counterparts, he has a few tricks up his sleeve. Peanut even comes running when he's called to lunch, and sometimes even sneaks food from the cat's bowl. But overall, Peanut is so well behaved that Julia even feels confident letting him play with her son Jimmy.
Oh, they're great, but sometimes they vie for my attention a little bit. Now, they get along a lot better these days.
And Peanut pulls his weight around the ranch by helping Jimmy feed the other horses. Known as the world's smallest stallion and measuring in at 19 1/4 inches, trips to town with Peanut have often been known to stop traffic.
He's a showstopper. I can't walk him down the street. It's crazy. We caused a car accident at a market one day.
And although he's petite, Peanut is still quite the stud and the perfect pet in Julia's eyes.
I know that he thinks a lot of me because he follows me everywhere I go.
Believe it.
Next, you saw what happened when Ripley's dropped the world's biggest rubber band ball.
Oh my God!
Now, two brothers are obsessed with building an even bigger one.
Number one.
Plus, the female artist risking a shark attack, all so she can capture these killing machines up close. You won't believe how far she'll go for her incredible underwater art. Next. Enter Robert Ripley's archives.
Leave it or not. Leave it or not.
The year is 1964. The cold waters of San Francisco Bay set the scene for a new sport that promises to take the surfing craze to a new level. It's called boat surfing, a combination of surfing and water skiing. The hybrid sport allows people who live far from the ocean to hang 10 in their local lakes and ponds. Once the ski boat reaches 10 miles per hour, the surfer lets go of the rope. The wake caused by the boat allows surfers to ride a wave created especially for them. Even expert surfers can enjoy boat surfing, performing tricks that were once only possible in the ocean. And when you wipe out, there's no need to paddle for a new wave. The boat just picks you up for another wet and wild ride.
Leave it or not.
Mooney Bai went into the hospital to have a baby. But when she went into labor, she had no idea that the pain would last 21 years after she brought her bundle of joy home. She complained for years. When the doctors finally took an x-ray, this is what they found.
This woman has suffered from excruciating abdominal pain for the past 21 years. And for the past 21 years, no one could figure out why. That is until the recent X-ray revealed the unthinkable. You won't believe what doctors found stuck inside her stomach. Living in a small village in India, housewife Mooni Bai loves nothing more than the precious time she gets to spend with her family. But for years, this mother of two has experienced crippling pain that never seemed to go away. Mooni consulted doctor after doctor, but the cause of discomfort always remained a mystery, though her husband tried his best to care for his ailing wife. And for the past year and a half, the pain got even worse, soon becoming unbearable. Frustrated but determined, Mooni and her family continued their search for answers, eventually seeking out a specialist in a nearby village. But after examining her, the doctor ordered an X-ray, which had never been performed in Mooni's small village. But everyone looking on, even this experienced medical professional, was floored by what he saw on the screen. Scissors.
It was first thing very confusing. I was shocked and surprised after seeing it.
But when Mooni saw the X-ray, she immediately knew how the scissor-shaped surgical clamp had gotten there. 21 years ago, she had a cesarean section while giving birth to her son. During the operation, the doctor must have accidentally left the clamp in Mooni's stomach before suturing her incision. Mooni's son couldn't believe what was left inside his mother during his delivery.
एक्चुअल में जब मैं पैदा हुआ था आज से 21 साल पहले तो उनके पेट में कैंची रह गई थी। वैसे तो कुछ नहीं लगता है लेकिन देखने के बाद बहुत अजीब सा लगता है और आश्चर्य होता है।
Incredibly, Mooni had spent the past 21 years living with a ticking time bomb in her abdomen. Had she moved the wrong way or had been in any kind of accident, she could have been stabbed from the inside and bled to death before anyone even knew what happened. Once having determined the problem, Mooni is immediately rushed into surgery to remove the foreign object. Doctors must be careful as they work to separate the clamp from Mooni's stomach, where the instruments have become entrenched for the past 2 decades. Any wrong move in the surgery to save her life could literally take it. After 3 hours, the doctor removes the clamp, which is actually rusted inside Mooni's body. But this brave mother isn't out of the woods yet. Part of her intestine has also been damaged by the metal intruder and has to be removed as well. Incredibly, this brave mother survives the operation. And after 21 years of excruciating agony, Mooni Bai is finally able to spend time with her family, pain-free. Believe it.
Even though in the X-ray it looks like it's a pair of surgical scissors, it was actually a surgical clamp, just like this one, that Mooni Bai carried around inside her for 21 years.
Next, Dean brushes you up on the world's most peculiar toothpaste collection.
And one company made Scotch whiskey-flavored toothpaste, but at 6 proof, it's not exactly kid-friendly.
And how many shattered bats can these muscle men take before they begin breaking bones? Tonight's challenge from the Ripley's live billboard on the Sunset Strip starts next. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Some of the most interesting stories on Ripley's are about people and their collections. Dr. Val Kolpakov is a dentist from Saginaw, Michigan, whose passion is, appropriately enough, toothpaste, and lots of it. His collection contains over 800 bottles and tubes of the strangest flavored tooth cleaner ever put on a brush. His favorite purchases are the ones that never caught on with consumers, like this interesting gift set from Neiman Marcus. Starkist, the same company famous for tuna, tried their own brand, but apparently couldn't hook many shoppers. And one company made Scotch whiskey flavored toothpaste, but at 6 proof, it's not exactly kid-friendly. Here's something the whole family can enjoy. You watch this while I go brush my teeth.
Here's tonight's unbelievable updates.
Faithful Ripley's viewers will never forget the images of the world's largest rubber band ball being dropped out of an airplane over a mile in the sky. The giant 2,600-pound rubber band ball was shipped to the United States from Wales in the United Kingdom, after its creator, Tony Evans, agreed to drop it out of an airplane 6,000 feet above the Mojave Desert. The ball reached speeds in excess of 400 miles per hour as it fell. And at the moment of impact, the ball cratered, bounced, and fired thousands of rubber bands through the air. Now, in this unbelievable update, 2 San Francisco brothers have actually created an even bigger ball. After seeing the Ripley's ball drop, Billy and Sammy Kishek became obsessed with creating the world's largest rubber band ball.
I love it. I love it. I want to beat everybody.
The 2 brothers started working on the ball behind the counter of their market, where they now spend up to 11 hours a day working on the ball, and have invested more than $15,000 in rubber bands.
If I'm crazy, I don't make it. I don't make rubber band like this.
Each one of the over 7 million rubber bands used to create this overgrown orb were hand-washed in order to remove any chemicals that could eventually cause the bands to become brittle and break. The ball now sits in the middle of the market, and after 4,000 hours of hard labor, it's officially the world's largest rubber band ball. Weighing in at a whopping 2,700 pounds, nearly 1.5 tons. That's 100 pounds more than the previous ball. Nearly 5 feet tall, and with a circumference of 15 feet, the brothers' ball beats the old ball's 14-foot, 8-inch circumference by 4 whole inches.
Mine now is the biggest, I think, because it's 2,700 pounds, and I proclaim it is the biggest in the whole world.
And this supersized sphere is so big that it's almost impossible to move, and unbelievably, it will no longer fit through the door. But that won't stop the 2 brothers from making the rubber band ball even bigger.
We have to knock down the wall if we take it out. Very simple.
Billy and Sammy even want Ripley's to drop their masterpiece out of an airplane. And they guarantee that this ball will bounce over 100 feet in the air.
If Ripley's wants to drop this, I think my balls will bounce because we have a fresh rubber band.
But first, they'll have to figure out how to get it out of the market. Believe it.
Now let's go back out to Kelly in Hollywood, California for tonight's Ripley's Challenge.
Welcome back to the Ripley's Billboard on the Sunset Strip. Steve and Herman are going head-to-head to see how many regulation baseball bats they can break over their thighs in 1 minute. As they break each one, their assistants will be standing by to hand them another. The challenger who breaks the most bats in a minute is the Ripley's Challenge champion. Now, guys, can you tell me what kind of training you would do for an event like this?
A lot of powerlifting, a lot of hours in the gym. You got to develop a lot of strength to be able to do that, to apply the 500-pound pressure.
You got to get really strong. Hey, they're excited to see this. Now, how easy is it to injure yourself?
Kelly, it's very easy. Snapping these bats, all bats, they're not created equal. So one may pop and gouge us in our bicep. We could tear a pec or blow out a shoulder. That's happened before to guy.
Yeah, I saw when you broke it, it went into like all kinds of splintery
splinters.
pieces.
It goes in your arms. So this is very dangerous.
Have you ever injured yourself?
Yes, I've scraped myself several times very severely. That's why you see us wearing arm wraps.
And you, have you ever been injured?
Oh yes, many times. So you're undetermined when the bat is going to break and how it's going to break.
All right. Do you think you can win this competition?
I feel good, confident.
How many bats are you going to break?
I'll say between 20 and 25. I'm going to go for it.
Wow, and you?
How about creating a little challenge? I'm going to do it over about 2.
All right, guys. Well, give it all you've got. Are you guys ready? All right, I'm going to do the stopwatch. I'm going to stand over here to be safe. All righty? Gentlemen, are you ready?
We're ready.
All right, on my count. Ready? Set. Go! 45 seconds. Ooh, man, that looks painful. Herman can't seem to crack a back. Steve is on a roll. 30 seconds left. These guys are going to be bruised. 15 seconds. Hold your bats. We're going to get an official tally, all right? There's a lot of shattered bats down there to count. All right, we have a winner. The official tally. Herman, you broke 11 bats. That was great. Steve, you are the winner by breaking an incredible 23 bats over your thigh in 1 minute. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel tired, but I feel good.
And your leg, it's okay?
It's all right. I feel great.
It hurt just watching you. I have to tell you.
It hurt a little bit. I'll admit.
All right, now listen, there's more. You actually tied the world record of 23 bats. That is so exciting. Now, in a moment, we'll head back over to the other side of the billboard and hopefully reveal the identity of Eric Harshbarger's massive Lego portrait.
You know, I'd break this one over my leg too, but I need to go play baseball with my kid. That's right.
Still ahead, can this artist really piece together 40,000 Lego pieces to create a mind-blowing, larger-than-life portrait? We head back to Kelly Packard for the unveiling. Also, you've heard of extreme sports. Now check out extreme art, as one woman dares to paint a portrait of a wild shark up close. And the tiny drums made out of dead heads. Dean reveals one culture's spooky head-banging ritual. When we dig deep inside the Ripley's vault. Next. Stories you can't imagine. People you won't believe. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
The sea has inspired creativity since the beginning of time. But one artist, known simply as Malvina, is so moved by what she sees, she records her deep sea experience in a very unique way. Believe it or not, she actually draws underwater. And unbelievably, she's about to go face to face to sketch sharks. Malvina first began creating her underwater masterpieces 20 years ago. Using oil-based pastels, which aren't affected by water, she started sketching in a bathtub. Then, it was a swimming pool. And finally, she moved to the open ocean. Now, her aquatic artwork is shown at galleries around the world, often selling upwards of $4,000. Today, for the first time on American television, Malvina will head out to shark-infested waters in an attempt to demonstrate her incredible underwater ability. Amazingly, this fearless aquatic artist risks attack, sketching passionately as the unpredictable man-eaters circle only a few feet away. But the brave artist doesn't hesitate. She believes the key to staying safe is to not show the sharks that you're afraid.
If you fear, you transmit your fear to the animals. If you stay very calm, they are not problem.
With a sure hand and a few sharks, Malvina brings the ocean world to life. A couple of hours later, her shark-infested watercolor becomes the first shark sketch actually rendered underwater. Believe it.
Okay, let's go back out to the billboard where Kelly is about to reveal the identity of the man in the Lego portraits.
I'm up here on the billboard looking down the Sunset Strip. Eric's been working all day on a 10-foot by 10-foot portrait made completely out of Legos. Eric, how are we doing?
I have just put the final pieces in. I think we're done.
I am so excited. Now, do you have any idea the official count of how many Legos are here?
The official count, if I remember, is 36,864 pieces.
That is unbelievable. Now, you haven't dropped any along the way, have you?
A few, but they've been retrieved, I'm sure.
All right.
You ready?
Can we do it?
Yes, I think it's ready.
All right.
By request from Ripley's, the host of Ripley's, believe it or not, Dean Kane.
When you thought you'd seen it all, a nearly 40,000-piece Lego portrait goes up on the Ripley's billboard along the Sunset Strip, and you saw it only on Ripley's.
When you enter the Ripley's vault, you can expect to see some gruesome artifacts from the past. This is a drum from Tibet, handed down from generation to generation for use during meditation and Buddhist rituals. Now here is where the gruesome part comes in. Each drum carries a family legacy. These two drums are actually human skulls, often of a husband and wife. The drum skin is actually stretched and dried human flesh. When a part of the drum would break, another dead relative joined the band. Unbelievable? Believe it.
Only those with the guts.
All right, let's do this.
Win the glory. Fear Factor. Back-to-back episodes. Tonight starting at 7. Only on Schiller. 12 makeup artists go head-to-head.
This challenge is vile. I love it.
In a battle of imagination and transformation.
I'm a very big fan of your work.
Face Off Memorial Day Marathon. All day tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. on Schiller. Scary Good.